Caleb Williams. Oh, is that the clone of Patrick Mahomes? Just kidding. It's just Caleb Williams from USC that I am talking about. This is Sports Guy Talking that you guys are watching and listening to. I am Dustin Tran, your host, as I am here today to talk about whether or not Caleb Williams will win the Heisman Trophy again this season. Caleb Williams is currently the favorite to win the Heisman Trophy as he is coming off of an incredible season for USC. With Caleb Williams already being a former Heisman Trophy winner, there will be a target on Caleb Williams' back from opposing defenses as they already know the greatness of Caleb Williams. Before I say anything else though, I want to present you guys with a topic question. So here it is. Will Caleb Williams win the Heisman Trophy again? Honestly, I don't see it happening. Not because Caleb Williams isn't a great football player. He absolutely is. But because of the fact that it is extremely hard to win the Heisman Trophy 2 years in a row. There's a reason why it hasn't been done in a very long time. There's also a reason why guys that are favored to win the Heisman Trophy don't end up winning the award. You think about great college quarterbacks like Trevor Lawrence. You would have thought that he would have won the Heisman Trophy every single season that he was the quarterback for the Clemson Tigers. But guess what? Trevor Lawrence never won the Heisman Trophy award. He never won it during any of his years in Clemson. And Trevor Lawrence is a phenomenal football player. Trevor Lawrence was on the level of a Peyton Manning and a John Elway when he was at Clemson. He was phenomenal. He was fantastic for them, but he never won a Heisman Trophy because it's really hard to pull off, because we're talking about the best player in not just the conference, but in the entire nation. There are over 100 teams in FBS college football, and out of 100 teams, only one guy from one team can end up winning the Heisman Trophy award. It's really hard to pull off, and even though Caleb Williams is a fantastic football player and a generational talent, there are also other really good football players too that play college football, not even just at quarterback, but at wide receiver as well. You think about all the talent that is going around in college football right now, and I have to say, man, we have a lot of talent that we are working with in the college game right now, because you think about all these great quarterbacks that are playing right now. You think about how Drake May, he's going to be really good for UNC this year. I'm really hyped up to see Drake May. He's the real deal. I like to call him Justin Herbert of the East Coast because that's how good he is. Drake May has a cannon for an arm. He's tall, he's big, he's athletic. He can do anything that you can ask any quarterback to go ahead and go do, because he is a quarterback that you build in a laboratory. And then of course there's Quinn Ewers. Of course he's got to stay healthy this year for Texas, but if he stays healthy for them, watch out for him, because Quinn Ewers is a potential generational talent. I'm not saying that Quinn Ewers has played like a generational quarterback yet, but he has shown signs that he can be a really good quarterback. He's just got to stay healthy this year. If he can stay healthy, Texas could be a dark horse contending team in the Big 12. And then of course there's first-time starter Kyle McCord. I haven't heard a lot of hype about Kyle McCord, but this is a guy that's been waiting for his opportunity to show out at Ohio State. And with the weapons that he has at Ohio State, I would not be surprised if Kyle McCord breaks out this year and goes on a surprising Heisman Trophy run, because I look at this Ohio State team right now and I'm thinking this is a team that can not only win the Big Ten, this is a team that can make the college football playoff and get to the national championship game. Obviously, Georgia is going to go ahead and win the national championship. They're just way too talented as a team. Honestly, they built a super team down there in Georgia, but outside of Georgia, everybody else is playing for second place. Ohio State is the team that can absolutely play for second place, and Kyle McCord can do that job, because Kyle McCord is a really good quarterback. It's just that he hasn't really gotten an opportunity to prove himself. If Kyle McCord can go out there and show his abilities, he's going to be really good. And look, Kyle McCord, I'm going to give you a hint as to how to solve your issues at the quarterback position. Kyle McCord, if you want to prove yourself as one of the best quarterbacks in the nation, just keep gunslinging the ball to Marvin Harrison Jr. Marvin Harrison Jr., by the way, is a wide receiver for Ohio State. He's the guy that I think will end up winning the Heisman Trophy, because Marvin Harrison Jr. is an incredible football player. He knows how to get open. He's a generational talent at the wide receiver position. I remember the year where Trevor Lawrence was supposed to go #1 overall in his final season in college football. He had a fantastic year, but he ended up not winning the Heisman Trophy. You know why? Because that Heisman Trophy ended up going to Devonta Smith, because Devonta Smith was a beast for Alabama, rightfully so. Devonta Smith was truly an underrated college football player. Devonta Smith just knew how to get open, plain and simple. As for Marvin Harrison Jr., he's 1,000 times better than Devonta Smith. Marvin Harrison Jr. has the potential to go #1 overall in this draft class, depending on who gets the #1 overall pick. I know that Caleb Williams is supposed to be a lock for #1 overall, but I'm just saying, just in case Caleb Williams doesn't declare for the NFL draft, he wants to stay in school one more year, or maybe a team already has a good quarterback with the #1 overall pick, although that is very rare for that to happen, but you never know. Maybe Marvin Harrison is a top 2, top 3 pick. That's how generational of a talent that he is at the wide receiver position. Marvin Harrison Jr. is going to be a beast, and the fact that he can run any route in any tree that he can, and the fact that he's so fast, man, he's just a special freak of talent. I'm really excited to watch Marvin Harrison Jr. play. I think he's going to be the best receiver in the country by a country mile. I think Marvin Harrison Jr. is going to get open a lot. I think he's going to put up big numbers game in and game out. The only way I don't see Marvin Harrison Jr. winning the Heisman Trophy is if he sits out a lot of games because of the fact that Ohio State is just simply blowing out everybody. Of course, some other dark candidates to think about is Bo Nix from Oregon. I like him. Then there's Jaden Daniels from LSU. He has shown that he can be a really good quarterback in college football. Then, of course, there's Jordan Travis from Florida State. Even though I do think Florida State has been getting way too much hype this year, Jordan Travis has proven that he can play at a high level for them. So I'm just thinking about some of those other Heisman Trophy candidates that I just listed out. So that means that there's a strange reality going on for Caleb Williams because of the fact that even though Caleb Williams is a generational talent, there's also a lot of high-end talent in college football, and the fact that there are a lot of great quarterbacks right now in college football. The fact that we've had so much great talent to see in the game of college football, it's kind of been unprecedented in the history of college football. That's how much talent there is right now. And also, I'm thinking about the fact how they have a generational wide receiver in college football as well. Marvin Harrison Jr. is going to be the best wide receiver that we have ever seen in a very, very long time. That's how good Marvin Harrison Jr. is. I don't see Caleb Williams winning the Heisman Trophy just because of the fact that there is so much competition going on. I know Caleb Williams is supposed to be the second coming of Patrick Mahomes, where he can roll to his left and make crazy arm angle throws. I've heard a lot of people talk about how he's a refined version of Patrick Mahomes in terms of play style. I mean, I'm sure that whoever gets the #1 overall pick in the NFL draft would certainly hope for that to be the case. But Caleb Williams, man, he's absolutely fantastic. He's a phenomenal football player, but I don't see him winning the Heisman Trophy. I don't see him leading USC to a college football playoff either. It's not a diss on Caleb Williams or Lincoln Riley, but look, there's a strange reality going on with those two men where they have to understand, even though they have a generational talent at the quarterback position, the rest of the team really isn't that good. It's not like this team has an amazing offensive line. It's not like this team has amazing receivers, amazing running backs. They have very good talent on offense, but it's not like, oh my goodness, they have generational talent all over the place. It's not like, oh my God, they are significantly better than every single opponent that they see on the schedule each and every week. When you look at USC, man, I'm thinking, yeah, they can score 40+ points. You know what else they can also do? Allow 40+ points every week, because Lincoln Riley and USC have no defense in them whatsoever. They have one of the worst defenses in the country, and it showed in their week 0 game against San Jose State. Yeah, they won the game by 4 touchdowns. Yeah, they won 56-28, but I don't feel good about this USC team because they allowed 28 points to a team that they should have allowed maybe 14 points maximum against. Yeah, I get that USC's defense is horrible, but San Jose State's offense isn't really all that to begin with, and they're an inferior competition to USC. USC should have blown those dudes out by 8 touchdowns. That's kind of how I feel about them. Look, USC, they won the game. They're supposed to win the game, but they should have won by more than 4 touchdowns. They can't be allowing 28 points if they expect to compete for the college football playoff this year, because I'm looking at their schedule right now. They play against Notre Dame, they play against Utah, they play against Washington, they play against Oregon. Those are 4 ranked opponents that I just gave y'all right there, and there's also some other tough competition that isn't ranked as well. I think Colorado is a team that's going to be more competitive than what people are expecting sooner rather than later. I also think that UCLA, they can make things interesting as well, and I'm thinking about, oh my goodness, this schedule for USC is really not as easy as what people are making it sound like. Yeah, we can talk about how the Pac-12 is dead and everything like that, but USC's defense is so poor that I think they're going to have trouble stopping even the most basic offenses in all of college football. Caleb Williams is fantastic. I cannot say that enough, but the rest of the USC team is not good whatsoever, and when your record isn't that good, that means that it's going to be hard for you to win the Heisman Trophy, because Heisman Trophy winners typically are given the teams that have the best player on the best team, and even though Caleb Williams is the best player in the country, USC is not going to be a team that's going to make the college football playoff this year. I don't even have USC winning the Pac-12 this year. I got that going to Oregon. I think Oregon is an underrated team. I think Bo Nix is going to surprise a lot of people. I think Bo Nix is going to be one of the best quarterbacks in the country. I like his accuracy. I like his toughness. I like the fact how Bo Nix, he doesn't really get rattled by pressure. And I like the fact how Oregon has a better overall team than USC. USC's team is just really not that good whatsoever. Now, USC, this is a team that can win 11 games just on the pure talent of Caleb Williams. But when they have to go up against teams like Utah, when they're going to have to go up against teams like Oregon, they're going to have to be able to play top-level football, because if they don't play top-level football, then they're not going to win the Pac-12 championship. I do got them going to the Pac-12 championship game, though. They're going to lose to Oregon in that one. I think Oregon is going to be the kryptonite of Caleb Williams this year, not because Caleb Williams isn't a great football player, but because of the fact that USC has no defense in them whatsoever, and the fact that Lincoln Riley doesn't necessarily win the big games more often than not. I think Oregon is a team that everybody is sleeping on in the Pac-12, and I think that USC, they're going to end up going 11-3. I think Caleb Williams is going to skip out on their bowl game because of the fact that he's going to declare for the NFL draft. But the point of the story is this: Caleb Williams is not going to win the Heisman Trophy this year, even though he will put up fantastic numbers, because his team won't make the college football playoff. And when you don't make the college football playoff, it's going to be harder to win the Heisman Trophy award. It's really plain and simple. I got that going to Marvin Harrison Jr. though, because Ohio State, they're going to be really dominant this year. And the fact that Marvin Harrison Jr. will prove himself to be a generational wide receiver. So that is why Caleb Williams is not going to win the Heisman Trophy again, as I got Marvin Harrison Jr. winning the award this season. Remember, go ahead and subscribe to Sports Guy Talking, like the video, and please comment down below. If you guys do that, I'm gonna shout you guys out in my Instagram story every Monday. That will be for the @DustinTran Instagram account. Make sure to follow me on Instagram @DustinTran and @Sports Guy Talking. Also, go follow me on Twitter @DustinTran. Again, go ahead and do those things that I just told you guys to go do. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed the content that was just produced. Peace out. I hope you enjoyed that video. Want more Sports Guy Talking, the home of great sports content? Make sure you click that subscribe button to get the latest from Sports Guy Talking. Go ahead and like the video, comment down below, check the description box on the video in order to follow my Instagram and Twitter. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from the YouTube channel, Sports Guy Talking.